The population of a town in 2020 was 1 lakh. The population decreased by y% from the year 2020 to 21 and increased by x% from this to this, where x and y are two natural numbers. Fine. If population in 2022 was greater than population in 2020 and the difference between x and y is 10, then the lowest possible population of the town in 2021 was. We are going to solve this question in a smarter way, right? See, I'll tell you the concept first and then we'll have a smarter approach to do this question. See, the question is telling us that in 2020 the population of a town was 1 lakh. Okay, now it is decreased by y%, and you have some population in 2021. Now it is further increased by x% and you have some population in 2022, right? 2022, let's say this is let's say A and this is B, right? Population in 2022 is B and population in 2021 is A. Fine. Where x and y are two natural numbers, if the population in 2022 means this value, this B, is greater than this value, right? Greater than population in 2020, right? Okay, fine. And x, the difference between x and y is 10. This is very interesting thing, guys, to understand. See, if you are decreasing this value by some percentage, if you are decreasing this value by some percentage and you are further increasing this value by some percentage, and it is given that this value should be greater than this. Now can you tell me which value will be higher, x or y? See, for example, let's say with some percent, let's say 40%, if it is decreased by 40%, it will become 60,000 in 2021. I'm just taking an example to make you understand, right? So if you have to increase this value by some percentage, right, and such that this value should be greater than this value. Now tell me, if you have decreased it by 40%, if you increase by 40%, it will increase by 24,000. 40% of this value will be 24,000, and so it will make 84,000 only. Please try to understand, this is not greater than this. We want this value to be greater than this. So x, the percentage value should be greater than this percentage value, right? Then only this final value will get increased by this. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. X should be greater than y, and we know the difference between them is 10. So x minus y is 10, right? I hope you're understanding this point. So if you consider this value as k, this will be k plus 10. And this is conceptual approach, guys, I'm telling you. For now, henceforward, you can just make an algebraic quadratic equation and go and solve this for k, right? I hope you understand. There's no need to think of a and b in the equation. Please try to understand. I have just given it for your understanding. Now, I'll prefer to solve this particular question using options. That is the best thing you can do. Please try to understand. See, you have calculators for such questions, for these questions, so it won't be a big deal. See, say for example, the lowest possible population you took is 74,000, right? So 1 lakh was the initial value. If you decrease it to 74,000, right, that means you are decreasing it by 26%. So your value of y is 26, so value of x will be 36%, right? So you have to increase this value by 36%, or you can simply multiply, because calculators will be allowed for these questions. So you can simply multiply with 1.36 to get this value, right? So again, you can, if you check with this, let's say if this is 75,000, so that means you are taking 25% as y, so you have to consider what, 35% for x. Again with 72,000, you will consider this. This is decreased by 28, so x will be 38%, or you can simply multiply this with 1.38 to get this final value. And the last option is 73,000. Last option is 73,000, and this is y, value of y will be 27,000, 27%, I'm sorry. So x will be 37%, right? So you have to multiply 73 into 1.37, right? 73,000 into 1.37, and this is going to give you pretty much a close answer which is greater than 1 lakh. This minimum possible, lowest possible, somewhere around this, right? Minimum possible value that we are going to get, and so you'll choose option D as the right choice. I hope you understood what I'm trying to say. See, in 72,000, what will happen? You'll get somewhere around 99,000 or something, right? So, but it is not allowed. Why? Because we want this value to be greater than this initial value. That's why we'll choose this one, right? So I'll not recommend you to go with this algebraic thing. Rather, you can just go with the options. That's it.